Go
I
ahead.
think he's on the call. I think
Oh yeah, that's it. That was my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Warriors Bucks, that was my guess.
Definitely. Even if the Kings weren't playing, probably
Yeah,
wouldn't be
I'm really sad I
listening
won't
to
be able
that
to hear
one.
that.
Yeah.
Hammer, before we get to the crucial game tonight, if you were an Office character, what character do you think you would be?
Oh man, it's always funny because like, who do you think you are versus who do other people think you are?
Well, we'll get to that part next.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
We went with Oscar. You don't
Okay.
really laugh at any jokes, and you know everything. Like not like you're a note, but like you know all of the facts. Like so, we determined you're Oscar.
Okay, I'll
Now
take
there's
that.
some character traits of Oscars that don't quite fit yours, but still, we
That's true.
thought,
I am married to a woman.
Well,
Yeah, and
not
I
Gil.
don't.
You're not Gil. Yeah, you don't have a Gil in your life.
Yeah, I don't look anything like Malcolm Brogdon,
You don't, no, and Oscar does.
and
Oscar
Oscar
looks
does.
like Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, pull it up.
Oh,
It's
he
pretty
looks
funny.
Oh no,
just
I've
like.
not
Someone,
seen him.
yeah,
Okay,
someone said that to me once.
Okay,
It was
okay.
on this show. I was like, oh my god, okay, yeah, that actually checks out. That works.
That's funny.
All right, Hammer. Fun and games aside.
Wait. Who are you guys?
Well, we determined Jesse might be Ryan.
Oh,
I don't think I was. I don't think either. We realized there might be multiple gyms here, and KC could be a gym. I don't think I've been assigned a character. Aaron is Michael,
well, of
and
course.
and Stacy's Jan Levinson.
Oh.
So we went with that.
Does she make candles?
No, she doesn't make candles.
Kim is Pam, right?
I think we went with Kim as Pam. Yeah, Kim is definitely Pam. And I think that's kind of where we haven't.
There's no Meredith.
Well,
there's no Meredith. There isn't really a Meredith, is there?
Well, there is.
Well.
We'll keep it off the air.
That's how we just said there ain't no Meredith. There ain't no Meredith. We'll leave that be.
Oh no. Oh, this is a spectacular like thing that we're doing here.
While we're here, who's our girl Shannon? She seems like she would have a comp on the show.
Who's Shannon?
Our girl Shannon.
Stephanie.
Oh, Stephanie.
I've done that.
You're making up names.
I've done that too. I don't know why I always want to call her Shannon.
You know who Stephanie legitimately could be? Is Dwight. She's got a farm with her animal. She's a bit quirky.
She's definitely that.
David
Yeah.
in the chat threw one for you.
Me?
You might be David Wallace.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Who's David?
David Wallace was he was Jan's boss.
It doesn't you're not Stacy's boss, obviously, but I think the character we're working with something there.
Well, you remember David's big idea that made him $10 million, I think it was, or $100 million from the military industrial complex.
Yeah, he created Suck It.
Yep, that's right. That's right. He created Suck It.
Michael didn't want to invest.
Michael wanted to create a three-legged. He wanted to create chair pants, but he missed out on the idea that would have made him millions of dollars.
I mean, Michael had Toilet Buddy as well, where there's a net.
Toilet Buddy,
your phone if it falls.
Yep. He had Toilet Buddy.
What in the hell?
Which was just a tennis racket. It's just the top of a tennis racket.
Seth is definitely Daryl. Yeah.
Yeah, we went with we figured the IT guys were Daryl and some of the other guys from the warehouse.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is good. Do we have
Charlie, I think, is Creed.
with his mung beans hiding in the drawer.
And we do.
What
and I think we
smells?
determined Kyle could be a gym. Like there's multiple gyms. Like Kyle could definitely be a gym.
Still no Andy Bernard though.
Wait.
No Andy. We don't have an Andy Bernard yet.
I think I'm gonna put Charlie as Phyllis. I don't know.
So that works too. I did think of that. That definitely works. Charlie as Phyllis definitely works.
That's amazing. And I know who Kelly Kapoor is. I know who that is.
I know you do. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll leave that one off too.
Oh my goodness. Another.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same department.
Oh. Oh. Oh boy.
All right,
I
Hammer.
can't wait for our show though. I still think our show needs to happen. Life
at
at
Odyssey. Yeah.
This is a show. This place is a sitcom.
It is. And our Pam has literally just been walking back and forth for the last 3 hours.
Oh, she's not happy. I think she's clearing out some stuff. So there's like look over there, there's like random paper plates and stuff. And I said, what are you doing all these paper plates? Don't ask me. Everybody keeps asking me. I said, all right.
I'm gonna call her in here. She's gonna lose it. Hammer, not the best night for the Kings last night, though. Hashtag boom baby.
Boom, baby.
Did help the Kings out a little
Secure
bit.
the pace. Or set the pace.
Securing. There's your new handle. Securing the Bagley. Securing the pace. But the Kings got the Lakers tonight, and obviously 2 games against the team that's right behind you in the standings over the course of the next 7 days are huge. History tells us, Hammer, the Kings should play great tonight.
Yeah, I'm not ever betting on this team one way or another ever again. Like not this version. I don't know what to expect. It's how I felt the last couple of games. Like you just don't know what to expect. And I think we should expect the unexpected. But even that, like I'm not going to do that. So if they were to win by 15 tonight, or if they were to lose by 25, neither one of those things would surprise me in one way or another. I just think I'd also say that they could easily beat the Lakers tonight and come back and lose to the Spurs tomorrow. And that's not a good feeling when you're a team and you're a team that has like aspirations of greatness, delusions of grandeur, whatever you want to call it at this point. But this team is so inconsistent and like just in a weird way. Like I keep feeling that like I can't put my finger on it. And I talked to Sean and Brendan on the Kings Beat podcast yesterday, and they were so quick last year to say that this is a good team. This is a good team. And this year they were quick to say, well, this isn't a great team. And I still don't know what I want to say about this team at all. I'm not comfortable with this team. And last year they needed to show me that they could be the team that they were in the first half during the second half, and they did. This year, I don't even know what they need to show me, and I don't believe, like whatever it is they're going to be in the playoffs. I just have no idea. To me, they look like a team that makes the playoffs and exits very quietly, very quickly. Like maybe not 4-0, but like a team that just can't keep it together and can't show up, 7 nights in a row or 4 nights in a row, whatever it is you're going to need to go and win a series. And so I'm kind of like if I were a betting man, I'd be pulling my money back away from the table and saying, you know what, I think I'm going to sit this one out for a while.
That'd be a good idea. I think about this team and how to categorize them and everything. And at the end of the day, you kind of are what you are, right? Like they're a team that's 8 games over 500, inconsistent, all this other stuff. But another thing that I think about is you kind of think about what could you be? And I understand anybody who says they can't be X because they've shown you they don't step up when they need to, or they're not consistent or anything else like that. Maybe it's just like a super optimistic outlook or a player outlook or something like that. Or the way I hope they're looking at this thing is, man, we can be a lot better than what we've shown. We can be a pretty good team. And there's 2 things that I think you will look at. Number one, their wins against top 4 teams in the conference. I mean, that shows you right there. Oh, whoa, wait. Oh, that was close. I think that was 4. He kicked out. That would have been a hell of a freeze too. But number one, your team, your record, your games and your wins against those type of teams. Number 2, you've got a good amount of blown leads late in games. And while the blown lead shows you like it's not good, it's not okay that you blow leads. No lead is safe with a team like yourself. You do have to get to that point, right? You have to play a certain level of basketball to get to that point, to be up 20, to be up 22 in the fourth quarter or something like that, like they were against Phoenix. And I would look at that as, all right, we're not where we want to be or where we probably even feel like we should be. But we can shore some things up and get on that path in these final 20 some odd games. Some people may look at it as pie in the sky. I hope they're looking at it more like I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I just, when I look at this team, like there has to be a moment where they're either galvanized or they're not or whatever. And we keep waiting for the moment to happen. And I just don't think the moment is ever going to happen. It doesn't happen from one game to the next. Like they can't ride the wave of momentum at all, which is weird. You know, they can't like embrace success in the right way. And so for me, that's what I keep looking at. If you wanted to grade this team right now, I can't. I'd have to give them an incomplete. I'd have to say, like, look, I don't think you're a failure, and you're certainly not an A, but I also don't know that I feel like you're a C or a B, because there are these moments where you're so good and these moments where you're so bad. And so I'm stuck with this lack of understanding. I mean, I can see what it is that they need, but I can't put my finger on why they can't keep it together, why they can't, again, embrace success, carry momentum from one moment to the next, find a way to get on a win streak. I think the best way, like Sean always calls, like, well, they're just a 500 team, and that's what they are. They've been a 500 team since like the calendar turned, and they're just stuck in this same exact thing where they win some that you don't think that they'll win. They lose games that you don't think that they'll lose, and you're just like very, very dissatisfied with like the overall tenor of who they are. And I think some people will say, well, I just want to watch the game and enjoy it, and then I'm going to forget about it and move on to the next one. That's what's tough about this team. Like there is no, they're joy killers. You know, you can't get to like this place where you're excited about what's going to happen next, because you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop and them to hit you in the head with a shovel and say, "Ha, fooled you." They're the ultimate. You know who they are? They're Lucy from Charlie Brown. That's who they are. Every time you go to kick the football, they pull the ball out from underneath you and you go flying through the air. And that's kind of who they are right now.
What do you think their reaction was Monday? Because we know what it was after the Denver game, and the reaction after the Denver game carried them through the Minnesota game. So much so it was even a talking point again on Monday. What do you think the reaction was when they blew a 22-point lead at home? You had just pulled the players only card. You had your fan base galvanized. They were behind you 1,000% at that arena on Monday night, and then you put up like 15 points or whatever it was to close the game. What do you think their reaction was?
Well, I mean, I know what Kevin Herter's reaction was. Kevin was absolutely pissed in the locker room. You could just see it. Like he understands the perception. He understands not just the perception of who they are, but how it looks to have a players only meeting and come back a couple of days later and just do it again. Do the same thing that you've been doing all season long and show that, disappoint people in the same exact way. You could tell just like the frustration was kind of like seeping out of him. And even the whole scene there was weird. We had De'Aaron Fox in the media room for like at the podium, right? And then we were told, hey, Mike's going to come out, but then Domas is going to come out later. He's getting treatment right now, and he'll come out after his treatment, but he's going to come back to the podium. So we had the De'Aaron Fox moment, which I thought was really good. I thought De'Aaron was really honest, and it took accountability for mistakes that he made and just whatever. I thought it was a good post game. And then Mike came in, and Mike did a lot of trying to explain. And that's usually not the best because I don't think there is a way to explain what happened. So then we scurry to the locker room, and Chris Duarte's there, but it doesn't look like we're going to get Chris. He didn't. I don't think he wanted to talk about his technical. And then Kevin briskly walked in quickly, went to his locker, turned around and said, "I'm ready to go if you guys are ready." As opposed to him going and getting in the shower and doing that stuff and then coming, making us wait for like 15 minutes. And then so we all go over. He was still steaming. You could tell it was 30 minutes after the game. Still irate, still very upset about what happened. And that's a good thing. That's what you want, and I think that like everyone's going to wear it differently, but he specifically he showed his displeasure. And like for me, I was like, "Oh, that's refreshing." It's not like frustrated Kevin because he's not getting minutes or frustrated Kevin because, he's missing a bunch of shots. He was just like, we have to be better and this isn't okay. And then we went back into the media room and Domas came right in, and Domas at the podium is so different than Domas in a scrum. He's so much more thoughtful and like I don't think he likes people around him in the scrum setting, whether it's in the locker room or at practice, but at the podium, he kind of settled in and I thought his answers were longer and he was really good. And I think most of these guys, they're frustrated, they're confused, they don't know why they keep losing these ways. And like I think they feel like what most of the fan base feels, like disappointment that they're not better than who they are right now.
Yeah, I wonder how that plays out. Like you can
Act on it.
Yeah, you can be mad all you want, but you talked about it a little bit yesterday, D'Lo. You got to change what's getting you those results.
Mhm.
And to what you just said, James, maybe they don't know how to change. They don't know what to change. Like I don't think it was a lack of focus that lost them that game on Monday night. I don't think they didn't play hard. Maybe you could say they let off the gas a little bit, but I mean, I don't know who was stopping DeMar DeRozan in that fourth quarter. They were getting looks. They were just missing their shots. What I really thought happened on Monday that maybe you can be better at and you can learn from is I thought they got tight. I thought they got tight. I thought the
absolutely.
possibility of losing another, but like the scenario, playing out the same scenario where you win a game and then you lose a game to a team you feel you should beat, getting close to that in the fourth quarter, I thought they got tight.
That Trey Lyles pass under the basket was like the epitome of what you're talking about right there.
And I don't know if that's something you just snap out of, but I thought that was more of the issue than they took the Bulls lightly or anything like that. I thought they got a little they got tight and they got a little nervous late in that game. They felt the pressure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even the Fox turnover where that whole play was messed up. There's a bunch of plays that were messed up in this whole situation. But that play there, very specifically, they lost Domas. And they're used to on that specific type of inbounds where it's at on the court and how they trigger that inbounds. All of a sudden, Harrison Barnes is being defended by Vucevic, who's huge, like just a much, much bigger player. And that's usually the outlet. And so Fox at the last second he was running out of time. He should have called a timeout. Or Mike should have called a timeout. But he tried to lob it over the top to Malik, and that's the turnover that ended the game, basically. There's that play. Then there's the weird play where Trey dives on the sidelines and tries to get the ball from save the ball from going out of bounds, like they're in the final seconds, and then they end up having to foul DeRozan. Even on that play, like I said this earlier on the Insiders, I was looking down at the court. There was like when Trey hit the out of bounds, there was like 16.4 seconds or something left in the game, and then that got wiped out. So the shot clock was at 14 because it wasn't a true change of a possession because Trey didn't get it before it went out of bounds. But for some reason, they adjusted the clock down to 14.8, leaving only 0.8 of a second. I think most of the players thought that they had more time, and that's why they let DeRozan run around, and they were trying for the steal. as opposed to just fouling early, which is what, because if they had 2 point something seconds and they had a couple of timeouts, they could have got a defensive stop, called a timeout, and gone down and tried one more play to, while it's still a 2-point game. But that's not what happened. They ended up looking at the clock and going, "Oh no, there's no time left," and they had to foul DeRozan with 3 seconds left, and they went to the other end. The same exact thing happened in the Minnesota game, where I don't know that they adjusted the clock, but all of a sudden there was a 14-second shot clock and a 16.2-second game clock, and Malik was doing like the last play of regulation, not the last play of overtime. But Malik was dancing around doing like the 5 flat, the 4 flat, whatever it is you want to call it. And all of a sudden he looks up and he's got no time on the shot clock. And I think they thought the shot clock was off, and it wasn't. The shot clock was on, and they didn't have the full 16 seconds. All they had was 14. So he had to throw up the air ball at the end because he didn't know that the difference between the two. So there's been like a couple of weird situations there in the last 2 games, but I don't know how to explain like Malik Monk being on the court for 12 minutes in the fourth quarter and taking 1 shot, or De'Aaron Fox going 0 for 4. Like you look at the fourth quarter and you're just stunned by like the overall, like what happened? No one took control. People were waiting for De'Aaron Fox to save them. That's what it looked like. And Fox made some errors.
I was.
Again. Yeah.
I was watching that game like, oh, Fox going to hit a shot. Right? It'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Shot did go in and out.
Yeah, it wasn't fine. It did.
2 times.
It did. It did.
Did you ever feel like they were going to lose until they lost?
When De'Aaron threw the ball out of bounds.
Like,
that's when I was like, damn.
That's when I threw my hat.
Yeah, we lost. We lost this game to Chicago. Prior to that, though, they're down 3, I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. It was not fine.
No.
And then De'Aaron threw the ball out of bounds, and it really wasn't fine.
It's just really strange. And especially,
was that 30 seconds left or something? That's when I thought, oh, they're not going to win this game.
Yeah. Yeah, De'Aaron had that they went down, they held him, but then did Caruso get an offensive rebound? And that again was the end.
Yeah.
Like they got the offensive board.
That was the Trey Lyles play. He got the rebound, kind of got poked away, and Trey Lyles tried to run after it.
Yeah. And that's where, again, I think like you can, we should probably like go back and look at the clock, because that doesn't make any sense, because there was 30 seconds left when De'Aaron made his mistake. And then like just the way that whole play rolled out, I would like to see how the clock looks, because it certainly didn't look like it matched up with what I saw on the court. I was watching, I looked at the clock, then I went to go write a tweet. I looked back up, the action's about to start, and there's 14.8 on the clock. And I'm like, wait, what just happened? And then boom, it goes, the play happens. It's just weird. It's like, I don't think it's the mark of a bad team or a complacent team. Sometimes you do just get beat by somebody, like we can go back to the Hornets game. We can talk all about how you lost to a bad team and all that stuff. But like Terry Rozier was incredible. You gave a guy confidence and he beat you. In this game, DeMar DeRozan was unstoppable. What are you going to do? A guy goes 7 of 7 in the fourth quarter. It just shines a glaring light on the same weakness that you've had for the last 2 years that you didn't address it during the offseason, that you didn't address at the trade deadline. You didn't address it last trade deadline. The same exact thing. You don't have somebody that can stop somebody like that when Keegan Murray gets in foul trouble now.
The guy hit a 3.
Yeah.
Is it a walk-in 3? Just splashed. Oh, my gosh.
He's on
come
fire.
Back. We'll talk more Kings basketball. We'll talk Kings Lakers with our insider from the Insiders, our man James Ham, here with Dealing with KC on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. I'm watching this back here. Tip away. Trey Lyles goes after the ball, and he's out of bounds. 14.8.
We're still having crazy Twitter numbers today.
Yeah, YouTube's normal. Twitter is watching us somewhere. So salute to Twitter.
All right.
So the ball was dead at 14.8.
On the telecast, you see that?
Yeah.
Huh. Is that when it's dead, or is that when Trey Lyles, like, is that when they whistle it? I swear there was more
When
time.
Trey Lyles gets off the ground, it says 14.8.
Hmm.
I'm gonna watch this one more time, Hammer. Yeah. Yeah, they might have let it go for like half a second, but it ends at 14.8, and that's where it starts.
Hmm.
But this is on the telecast.
Shoot me that info since they wiped me out. My computer wiped me out.
What info am I shooting?
That info.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah, no, ain't nothing wrong with saying synergy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I need that password. What's going on there?
Oh, see? God damn it, James. I'll send it to James. Don't touch shit. It's I'm scared to death of this website. Come on now. What's wrong? I'll get it to
Yeah.
both of you.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that whole entire sequence because Caruso has the ball, right? So I'm gonna watch that sequence because, like, the way it sounds, like, it's still like the numbers don't make sense. Let me see.
Caruso never has the ball.
Oh, he never officially has the
No,
ball.
he's like going after it. He doesn't actually have it. He's trying to like dribble it into him, and that's where Trey comes in and kind of, swipes at it.
Okay,
And then
so
goes flying.
I think maybe that's what I saw. That when Caruso had the ball, that they should have reset the shot clock. And then they didn't reset the shot clock. They dropped it to 14. Hang on. Oh, this is weird because it's the opposite action. What I was watching. Okay, hang on.
Everything over there, boy. We programming, boy.
What is going on now? What are these hoes doing?
We programming, boy.
Wow. Well, it's what we do. It's what we do.
Oh, man.
I send you screenshots. I think you can kind of like figure it out. James, you shall guard this with your life.
Yep.
Though I'm pretty sure like 90 people have it, but they're all coaches. So
Well, I had it once before.
you didn't have this one.
Oh, okay.
You'll see why shortly.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, Ben, shut the hell up. I'm going to die on that hill if I want to. You sit down, Ben. Coming back, James.
Yo,
I'll choose the hill I want to die on,
but look,
deal with it.
Shout out to our guy Ben, man. I like Ben.
I love Ben.
And he's not even gonna see this because Ben, every time he watches this, is about 25 minutes behind.
I think Ben watches a lot like in the middle of the night too. Like he watches it like weird,
but he'll
weird
comment.
times. Well, yeah, oh yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, ain't nothing wrong, but
Ain't
it's
nothing wrong with
hilarious.
that.
He's talking about Michael Bridges. You saying like he could be at number one. How long ago was
that?
No, that was
ago.
like 155.
Yeah, that was a minute ago.
Ben's not gonna finish till tomorrow.
and he's still gonna comment.
That's all right.
When we get to this point, he gonna comment.
Hey, wait till Ben drops the. Yeah, I can't wait to see Bill Belichick and Nick Saban together on the Manning cast.
Shout out Ben, though. That's my guy, man. It just cracks me up.
Yeah, Ben is our dude for sure. And you're right. He'll hear us talking about him in like an hour. James Ham here with us. Sacramento Kings take on the Los Angeles Lakers tonight at Crypto.com Arena. First of two games that these two teams have over the course of the next 7 days. First time they've played since way back in November. Kings 2-0 so far against the Los Angeles Lakers, Ham, who are playing really, really well right now, averaging about 122 points per game, 10-4 in their last 14. Averaging, let me rephrase that. They're averaging about 122 points per game over the last 14. They're 10-4 over those 14 games.
Yeah, I mean, the Kings are playing offensively at about the same scoring pace right now over the last, they've actually cranked up their offense as well. But I don't know, like this Lakers team they're kind of just willing themselves into where they need to be. And it's a huge game because if you win tonight, like there's almost no way for the Lakers to catch you. Like you're up 4 games in the loss column with 20 games left or 21 games left. But on top of that, you have a 3-0 advantage. So they would have to beat you by 5 games in the loss column in the final 20. And that's really, really difficult to do. It's not if they just sweep and they win all of their games. But I actually think one of the teams has played way more games than the other two, right? Haven't the Lakers have 19 games left?
The Lakers 34-29. That's good for 63 games.
Yeah, so they have 19 games and the Kings have 22. Right? So that's big. Like the Lakers don't have as many games to make up to catch up if you do win this game. And again, that season series thing, it puts such a huge separation because that it gives you like an extra game advantage. But I kind of like, Anthony Davis goes out and says, it doesn't really matter where we are. We don't really care. Like they made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals last year with being basically a play-in team that made it as the 8th seed, and they don't care. And I get that because they are the Lakers, because they are, they're going to get plenty of rest during the playoffs and everything else, but same time, this team here, it just feels funky. It's not a great team. It's not a team that I think everyone around the league is fearing. Even last year, we kept hearing, well, the Lakers could, even though they're down at the bottom, you can't ever count them out. I don't think we count them in. That they're not a contending team in my book at all. So I don't know what they are. And they're not as good as the Kings, although they're playing better than the Kings. But we'll have to see. I think the Kings have beat them 3 games in a row, 2-0 this season. But I think last year, the last game they won as well. It should be intriguing, but like this is a put up or shut up moment for the Kings. You lose this game, and all of a sudden, that gap we're talking about is 5. Nice. Yeah, now it's not. Now it's 3 games, and they're right there, or it's 2 games. Yeah, you would be up 2 in the loss column and only a half game up overall, and that's not a good place to be if you're the Kings.
And that doesn't factor in what happens if the Warriors beat the Bucks.
Right. No Giannis tonight.
And this feels a lot like the Suns. The Kings had a chance to close the series with the Suns and wound up losing 2 in a row. And like you have a chance now to take this series and get that extra game against the Lakers tonight, something you weren't able to do against another team that you're in a fight for, or in a fight with.
And you guys are 100% right. But I also say this, the onus for what we're talking about season series is on the Lakers to win 2 in a row. Like the Kings, because especially since they play a week apart, Kings could lose tonight. And everything that you're talking about is still in play for them next Wednesday.
Yeah.
The Lakers have to win too. Once again, it reminds me so much of baseball, but in a baseball series, if you're back 2 games and you're playing the team that you're in front of you by 2 games, you've got to win both. A split does you no good. It just gets you back to where you were before. So that's the advantage that they have winning those first 2 games. But then you got the big picture as well, as far as the whole conference, where, like you said, here come the Lakers. If they get even closer to you in the standings, that brings a whole nother list of problems. So you're best to go out and just go and win this game if you can. How about that? We'll deal about everything in game 4 on next Wednesday.
Mhm.
Well, that, and I think when you bring up next week, I mean, next week is the second night of a back-to-back with the Bucks on the first night. And sure, it's at home, but that's not an easy 2 games. And it almost feels like, some of these teams right now that are playing the Bucks, it's like super, super important for the Kings that the Bucks be whole and that Giannis is playing. But then Giannis is going to play next week when they play them. So, you know what I mean? It kind of feels like that. It was a stunner the other night when didn't the Bucks beat the Suns without Giannis?
The Clippers.
The Clippers.
Oh,
yeah.
the Clippers. Yeah, my
Clippers.
bad. The Clippers. Yeah, so that was a big win. But by the time you get to the Kings next week, you almost feel like, all right, well, now Giannis is back, and like, how are you going to stop him? You can't stop Brandon Ingram. How are you going to stop Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Yeah, maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't know. We'll deal with the Bucks when we get there. Right
Yeah.
now, I'm going to see the Kings hit threes, score in the paint, and we've speculated that Anthony Davis is very aware of the fact that he's never beat Domantas Sabonis, especially now that Kendrick Perkins took it to ESPN and plastered it all over social media following the Kings' last victory against the Lakers in November.
Yeah.
Which was compounded by the fact Anthony Davis had like 9 points in that game.
Right.
That battle is usually really good. Like, Davis has had some monster games, but
Yeah,
they
the
just
one
don't
early,
win.
the first one of the year was really good.
Yeah, like they just go at each other. I mean, it's like a really epic big man battle. I don't know. Like, how do you put it in perspective? I mean, this is as big a must-win game the Kings are going to have. And to date, like, you'll have another one next week. And then when you play Dallas twice, those are going to be must-win games as well. But this is such a huge game for the Kings. And you hope that they kind of, I don't even want to say it, that you learned from Monday, but I don't think there is a way to learn, like, at this point in the season. I think you go in here, and if you have the right mindset and you fight for 48 minutes, you'll come away with a win. If you don't, you're going to be really, really bummed out and have a couple of days here to think about what's happened. Oh, well, not really. You're going to have to play the Spurs tomorrow night, and hopefully it doesn't have that kind of carryover where all of a sudden you're looking at a losing streak again.
Don't want that. Definitely don't want that. One of the things that I think about with this game that had me feeling a little bit better was the fact that the Lakers have gone to more of an offensive team, which means they're not having the defense and the defensive team out there. And I think that kind of plays into the Kings' hands. If you want to get into a shootout with the Kings, that's where they're probably most comfortable. So that's what I'm looking for in this game. Get up and down. They should get good looks. They should get open looks. They just got to be able to knock them down.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers offense, like, everything about them is weird. Like, both sides, they allow, a certain amount of threes. They're not good defending the three. Um, they don't take a lot of threes. So it's almost one of those games where do you play a zone and try to slow them down? Do we see more of that tonight? Do you dare them to beat you from three? But then you kind of look at them too, and you're like, all right, well, they've got D'Angelo Russell, who always finds a way to destroy the Sacramento Kings. So I'm not leaving that guy open from three. And yeah, this is a team that I think one of the bigger things, the free throws, like, they don't foul anybody and they get to the foul line all the time. So they're like 6th in the league in free throw attempts, but they're last in the league in personal fouls against that they commit. So if you're going to beat them and you're going to beat them at home, you have to walk in there and actually beat them. You cannot leave this game open in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game. It can't be a 6-point game, a 7-point game. You have to beat them because you're not going to get any calls down the stretch. You're just not. And, that's who they are as a team. And if for some reason they don't get a bunch of free throws, they're going to be complaining the whole time. or if they don't get enough more than you, they're going to complain. So this is a game where, again, just like no excuses. You're a team that is up against the ropes because you put yourself in this situation, and you're playing a team that's chasing you, and you have an opportunity to almost put them away in the race, as far as like at least securing yourself as potential home court advantage in a play-in game. If you lose this game, all bets are off. Like this thing could spiral.
Talk about all bets are off. I'm going to need to talk to Mike Brown if tonight's press conference starts with, we got our butt kicked from top to bottom, and that includes me. Sir, if you get your butt kicked by Darvin Ham tonight, we need to talk. I mean, salute Darvin Ham. He's a fine coach. Well, what's Oklahoma City's record?
His mic's not on.
Yeah, your mic isn't on.
My bad. Basically, I was saying, Dagnall, he got beat up, but like you said, this Thunder's record a lot better than the Kings.
Well, that and the other thing, the Lakers, they're 6th in the league in pace.
Well, yeah, I'm also tired. The point was, I'm tired of coaches kicking Mike's butt.
Oh, no, I got you.
Mike's starting every day. I got my butt kicked tonight. All right, Mike. Why don't you kick somebody back? Why don't you go beat somebody's ass, Mike?
You beat Chris Finch.
Go beat
Ty
Darvin
Lue.
Ham's ass now. Yeah, he did get Ty Lue, though.
Got Mike Malone to the point where Mike Malone was saying in the next game, "You guys will not ruin this for me."
He didn't say that. Like, you're making that up. He didn't say that.
Damn it! You better not lose this for me.
Now we think that's what happened, but there's no evidence of that actually.
Well, I think there might be Jamal Murray playing like at the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter in a blowout. Maybe that was personal. Maybe that was personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be it. That might be it. Yeah, I'm gonna. So we talk about players all the time, rightfully. So I'm gonna need Mike to work through this as well. And one of the things KC was talking about, probably I'm sure it was starting yesterday, is the answer might not be finding more bench guys or what bench guy is going to hit. The answer might be eliminating that. You've got to start chopping this rotation down and acting like it's the playoffs. We use the analogy of like the Steelers, the Giants, some of those like wild card teams that ran to the Super Bowl, having a de facto 6 straight playoff games. Well, Sacramento may very well have 22 straight playoff games here, give or take.
Have started.
Yeah, give or take, a very small handful over the course of the next month and a half. And might have to approach it that way.
I agree. Yeah, I think at this
I'm really
point,
entertaining James Ham today, boy. Did you hear that?
Hey, man, I'm beat.
Kenny's turning his mic off. He's done with me. James is signaling like he's got to stay. James hates the 7:30 start too. I know you do.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Next week was 7:30, but it's
That's
7.
stupid.
Damn.
There's no point in the 7:30 start. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the
poor
7.
James Ham at the Golden One Center till 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's not great. The back-to-backs next week I'm circling is like, oh, that's gonna kill me. I'm not gonna
get a spot at the Sawyer.
Yeah, that'll
like
make
Kobe.
sense.
Remember Kobe wouldn't go home?
Yeah. Yeah, he just stayed downtown after shoot around.
We got those Kenny Caraway dollars flowing through.
Oh?
Right there. There it is.
Those dollars.
Especially with that cardigan he got on today. I heard that was real bangle he's wearing.
No, don't listen to the media. It's these dollars.
It's real bangle.
Real bangle. I'm a real bangle.
Go to
Right.
YouTube.
That's amazing. Yeah, like look, I don't think that there's a lot of ways that we can like keep twisting and turning this thing. We just don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how these guys are going to perform. We don't know who's going to step up and who's not. Like Malik Monk usually plays big against the Lakers. This is a game where you need him to be like tremendous. You need De'Aaron Fox to shake off whatever, because it's not like D'Angelo Russell can stay in front of him. Like, you have matchups in this game. For me, one of the ones that scares me is Rui Hachimura has crushed the Kings a couple of times. He's just big, physical, athletic. And then there are games where he just totally disappears and he doesn't play any defense. So if he's going to torch you on one end, you got to go at him at the other end. And I would just like, you need everybody to look at themselves in the mirror, not worry about like a players only meeting or anything else, and just walk in the door ready to play and ready to play for the entire game. And you guys talked about like maybe like squishing down the rotations and stuff. I don't know who gets taken out. Like I don't like how do
Duarte.
you yeah, maybe Duarte, but
And
up
not even
until the
taken out.
point that he got
Like,
he got
no,
popped
I'm
in the
sorry.
face, he was good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not even taken out, but basically what me and Damian agreed on, maybe 37 to 40 minutes for Sabonis, Fox, Keegan, and Monk is somewhere probably in the 30s. So the same guys might end up playing, but as opposed to 11 minutes, might be 7 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but like look, you are on the first night of a back to back. And you got to fly home, and I know you got to win one.
Better
That's
figure out a way to have some energy tomorrow at 7 then.
yeah. No,
Because
I
you've
got
given
you.
all, and that's the thing. You've given all of those back. Like Kings didn't have it tonight. Well, it's too goddamn bad.
Oh no, there's no. I wouldn't make any
Bad.
excuses for this team. Yeah, even like you brought up, I thought Duarte played really well in that game up until the point that
He
I was
did.
watching. I was watching that interaction, and I saw him get popped in the face. And I don't know what Kobe White did there. I haven't seen the replay of it, but it was like right down below us that I could see that interaction. Whatever he did, Duarte was incensed because the official was watching the interaction and he was yelling at him, "Did you see what happened?" And then Duarte, the shot goes up. Duarte goes to crash the glass, and Drummond like just I don't know, shifted like a tenth of his body weight and knocked Chris Duarte like 15 feet. Um, and that's when Duarte lost his cool completely. That was a weird play. And again, I'm not even sure why like Duarte wouldn't want to talk about that whole situation, but like those incidents happen, and like I would never have put the loss of that game on Chris Duarte because it's not like there was like an altercation and one team responded and the other one didn't. It was really Duarte was very upset with an official because he was watching like the interaction, and that's where his heated like anger was being sent. It wasn't at Kobe White.
And to be fair to Duarte, I think he's been playing well. Like he's been playing
Yeah.
good.
So is Davion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there's the guys who have been playing for the most part pretty well.
Right.
You got to rely on your big dogs.
Yeah, you got to rely on the big dogs. And whether I'm in a lead or I'm behind or whatever the case may be, if I see 6-0 run, all right, man, it's time to get these guys back in here.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's playoff time.
No, I would agree with you. Yeah, you got to coach differently from here on out. You got to leave
that's
it all
it.
out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Mike's got to be sharp. The team's got to be sharp. And it does feel like you mentioned something like this a few minutes ago, Hammer. Like it does feel like some of what's going on. Casey brought this up too. Like it's like they're in their head. Like something is like maybe the expectations have finally got to them. Like, yo, we're in a playoff fight now. Whereas last year we were coasting, we were cruising, we were chilling. No one was even nipping at our heels. Now we're in a fight with like 4 teams. Maybe that's starting. You mentioned them getting tight at the end of the Chicago game. Maybe that's finally starting to weigh on them a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost like the smartest kid in the class that can't take a test. That
I
bombs
never
every
had that
test.
problem. Yeah, I was never that guy.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like it's almost like the bad test taker. Every time they're tested, they don't do well in that situation. All the practice tests, they're fine. But the ones that somehow like would put this whole thing together and string together like a long win streak and give you some separation and all that stuff. Every time you're in that situation, you just come out flat and you can't find a way to win. And again, we could like examine the game on Monday. Like I don't even know how that happened, how they lost. Like just there was again never a moment where you felt like it was going to happen, but that's no excuse anymore. And it's not that like that matters. Like you lost, but like, how is it that your main pieces, your main players, just weren't able to perform at all? And I guess sometimes it can be a coaching issue. Sometimes it can be whatever, but Like, I don't think the answer is to like break this thing up and start anew again. I think the game plan has to be to like make the improvements you need during this offseason.
Apparently, it's to go get Mikal Bridges. If you
Yes,
listen to these,
yes, it is. Yes, go get him.
Because Sean Marks is going to do that. He's going to trade Mikal Bridges to Sacramento for Harrison Barnes.
Everything, like, yeah.
Real quick, Hammer. If the Kings miss the playoffs, I know you've explained this a trillion times, but if they miss the playoffs, what are the first round picks available to trade?
You can't trade 25 or 26, and your 27, if you were to offer that up, has to have like an asterisk, because you can't give up 2 first-round picks. You can't give up back-to-back first-round picks. So if you don't give up your 25, you'd give up your 26, which means you can't give up your 27. So you would have 28, 29, 30, 31, but you can only trade every other year, basically. So you would have 2 first-round picks at your disposal, or the potential for 27, 29, and 31, but you would have to have a team that was willing to take on like a pick that wasn't guaranteed. That makes sense. And you couldn't have like lottery protections on those picks, because a lottery protected pick. Yeah, that's the problem. You know what I mean? A lottery protected pick, it gets relayed the next year with different protections. That's typically what happens, which is what we're dealing with right now. It's a 2024. If you that's top 14, but in 2025 it's top 12. In 2026 it's top 10, and if it doesn't relay in 26, it becomes 2 second-round picks in 27. So it's just, those things, they matter. Like the protections that you put in for a pick, it totally matters.
Yeah, I don't need the protections. I'm giving them away outright. Here, take them. Take them.
Kenny out here just giving away them first-round picks.
Making it rain.
Mike,
Making it rain, Kenny.
Here, what you want? Here, take them. No protections. All yours.
You get a first-round pick, and you get a first-round pick, and you get a first-round pick. Yeah.
Yep. Sean gets all of them. Not quite sure why Sean's still employed, but that he is. If I'm following in the chat correctly, is it Jess's birthday?
Oh, well,
if it's Jess, I think it's Jess's birthday. Happy birthday. Man, happy birthday to the big homie Jess, man. We appreciate you. It's always great to see you at the events. Yeah, that's very nice. Well, I guess we got 50-50 custody with Jess. I don't know. I went perusing for something yesterday, and I was like, hey, the hell is this? And there was Jess, but that's all right.
It's all good.
It's all love. Happy birthday to Jess. We appreciate you so much, and we appreciate you for listening or watching on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you may be. And we'll be back. What's coming up? We got Run It Back, Purple and Black
at 6.
Good stuff, man. So much more Kings coverage ahead. All right, it's tomorrow, so we'll celebrate Jess's birthday. Really, you celebrate all week, so that's what we do, Jess. We celebrate. We will see you tomorrow here on Sacramento Sports Leader, beginning at 10 a.m. with the Insiders on ESPN 1320.